Hey guys, it's Lori here with a voice in the dark, and I just wanted to talk, you know, about life. Um, I'm in the same boat as the rest of you. I'm wondering what in the hell is this circus going on in our country and the world right now. And I got a theory. It's my theory. But I got this theory that the rulers that be are attempting a new world order takeover. And they are trying to produce, and I say produce in a very, uh, what's the term I want to use? Uh, they are attempting to produce the effects of what Revelations was all about in the Bible. The end times that, everybody's in an uproar over. And so what I'm going to tell you is how I see it, is that it's all fake and phony and it's all bullshit, and that it is strictly to keep us busy while they do take over the world. They already run the world. I don't know why they have to take it over, but this is how I get it. We were promised 1,000 years of golden years. And in their mind, since they have to foot the bill for the golden years, in their mind, they've decided a dystopia society. And that means, yeah, some of us will be able to make money, extra money, if we get out there and grope for it. But I don't know if many of us will have much money, to actually spend to even begin to make extra money. They haven't talked about dollar amounts yet, but they need to bring the world more in balance, each country more in balance with everybody, more equal. And so that we can help the third world countries. And this is, my viewpoint on that. Whoever's been stealing and raping those third world countries for their minerals needs to foot the bill, not anybody else. That's my opinion. And yet, it seems and appears that when we created our country here, the United States of America, and this beautiful Constitution and beautiful words and verbiage that was used, that somehow the Crown was decided that, well, you can have your country, but just know it's still ours. That's what's going around on it anyway. And from what I can see, if you look at the bigger picture around the world, that's exactly what they're doing. They're bringing in migrants that are questionable. We're not supposed to have migrants male migrants of the age between 25 and 45. Never single ones. No, that's war age. They need to be in their own countries. We usually take families that are struggling or, in threat from wherever they're coming from. But everything's questionable right now. Everything is questionable and everything is horrendous. And they don't seem to care about us and what we want. It's what they want and how they want it to go down and how they want to present it to us. They're going to save us by giving us a stipend every month. They're going to save us by putting us in communities where we can be useful. I don't know what the hell they're going to do with all those old people. And then that's with the New World Order. Now, here in the United States, we still have a functioning party that's wanting to take over the country and make it a republic, which is nothing less than a dictatorship. and that's a nightmare. And the other side of the coin, um, they have been setting the stage for the New World Order to take place. So I decided that perhaps I'll address all the people of Earth, the whole world. I think that it's time that we, as a people, as a race, you see, because there's only one race here, and that's the human race. I won't tell you what the rulers are, but they are not human. I guarantee it. They look humanoid, but they're not. So I thought I'd read a few things so that you could see how you feel about it. Because every country's in the same wash bin right now. Everything's a nightmare. Everything's a mess. But in my personal opinion, I believe the elite should have to pay and clean up their own messes wherever they made them, and help those people in whatever country they took the most resources from. Because that's only right. That's only fair. And yeah, I don't think that the United States gives a lot. And we've allowed the elite to use us as their mercenaries. And I'm damn tired of that too. We've got men that have gone to war and for things that really weren't any of our damn business in the first place. So what I'm saying is, I believe that people around the world feel the same way about their countries and what's been happening to them. And I'm going to tell you one little story. It's a short one, don't worry. Then I get to reading. But the story is that you are divine beings. We all are. And even if 92% of the population is fake in the meaning that it is backdrop for all of our souls to have a full experience. That's what I've been told. And I said, well, that's fine. I said, but even if they're backdrop, then the backdrop is for each one of us. So if there's so many of us in each country, then so many of us in each country has a right to utilize the backdrop and still have an opinion. And we are allowed to raise our voice, not horribly, but we are allowed to speak. We are allowed to speak. We are allowed to write emails. And we are allowed to not consent to what they're doing. That is written in the original accord when these bodies were formed by the Anunnaki. They do not own our souls. They are not our gods. They are gods. Don't get me wrong. Powerful ones. But they don't own our souls. Our souls belong to Source. We came here and we got lost here because it was so different and it was so cool. We loved the planet. And anyway, we got here and we kept coming back to the point that we forgot who the hell we were and we got stuck here. So for about 450,000 years, we have been trying to find our way back home, to remember who we were, these divine, beautiful divine beings of gold light. And we have a right to go home if we so choose. You also have a right to stay if you want. And but I can't guarantee what they're going to do with your soul, because some of these beings prefer to utilize your soul for their health and their luck and everything else. Because face it, we have a direct link to Source. They do not. They gave that up. And that's something else you need to know. They gave that up because they wanted to be like gods. They wanted to separate themselves from Source. That's their choice. We never have. But the thing is that they have lied in our religions We didn't have a religion where we came from because we knew what we were. We were already divine beings. We already knew we were whole and pure and gods of our own right. And so this is what I want you to think about. Forget the dog and pony show, because it's all a joke on us. That's all it is. And they're trying to scare us, and they're trying to keep us down and negative, because if we're down and negative, we can't ascend to the higher energy frequencies so that we can get the blue blazes out of here. So one thing I want to tell you is there is no sin. So lighten up on yourself. God loves you no matter what. He hopes that, and she hopes, that you would learn to love yourself and forgive God for, leaving you here, which God didn't leave you here, just that every soul has the right to freedom and to free will, And since we didn't know the truth, we didn't know where to go. So when someone dies and they go to the white light, they are talked into staying and recycling their soul here. Your soul's perfect. There's nothing wrong with it. And you don't have to make up for whatever you did here. Karma it happens, but it's not a necessity. You don't have to go through it. It's an experience. If you want to choose to go through it again, that's fine. But you really don't have to. You get up there and say, hey, I'm ready to go home. I'm done here. And let the light beings from higher realms come and get you. Jesus was from a higher realm. Jesus was from, another planet in another dimension. And most of the masters are. We are all star beings, really, if you want to get down to the nitty-gritty of it all. Most of the ones that are still blind and can't see, it's because, and you can't hold any vengeance or grief about it, their innocence, our innocence is so pure as a soul, and that if we're centered in love, we know that that's what's good. And to some, it doesn't matter about any of this. But the thing is what they don't realize is that there is an evil on the planet that wants to keep us here and keep our souls. And I'm telling you that you have a choice. It's up to you. And in my personal opinion, we're here. We might as well play. And we might as well play hard. And when we hit those heavenly doors, kick them open and slide in like we're sliding into home base and just say, hey, 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 honey, I'm home. Anyway, that's how I feel about it. And the thing is that I know they feed us full of guilt and shame when they know there is none. We make mistakes. God knew. Goddess knew. She knew. They knew. We'd get here and we'd make mistakes, and it's because it's a heavier energy. And it's not, our light body didn't even make it to a physical form real well until 250,000 years ago, when Nanan of the Anunnaki, she was Enki's wife, when she finally decided she knew what the human form needed. And so she changed our DNA and upgraded it with the Anunnaki DNA, which made it better, a better form to be able to handle such an impressive energy form, which is us, you and me, divine beings, golden light, powerful beings. So forgive yourself. That's what I want to tell you today. I want you to forgive yourselves, and if you want, put I do not consent on everything that you own. That you can make as a statement somewhere. But let them know. Use your voice. Don't be mean, but use your voice. And tell them, we don't consent to this. What we do consent to is maybe a beautiful democracy. A democracy gives people guidelines to go by to keep a healthy balance in the economic field and a healthy balance for all people, to be able to make a living, afford a home. And yeah, you'll pay taxes because you got to pay for the water and the electric and things like that to be created and formed. And in this day and age, I am mortified that there is still places that do not have running water and electric and indoor toilets and refrigeration. And but there are plenty of places like that, and it's sad. And I think that the people that came in and took all your resources from your earth, your ground, should pay for it. And they're not going to like me producing this today. But they kind of brought it on themselves. So that's how I'm looking at it. I'm going to read a few things to you, see what you think. I'll take pictures of it and add it to the video at the back page. And so that you can see the words and maybe help you as a people realize that you could stand up and have the same thing too. And there is a supreme judge of the earth, which is an Anunnaki that lives here. And that's who you're presenting it to. But you can do it on YouTube. You can do it, you can do it, yeah, from your church, school, backyard, wherever. They'll hear you. They will hear you. And they're not bad. Some of the rulers here and some of the ultimate wealthy ones are getting even wealthier. Anyway, there's some of them that are really bad. They're very bad. And some that aren't. And it's just definitely going to have to feel that one out. They have different ways of living that we do. They have different beliefs. And it doesn't matter what your belief is. Jesus and Gandhi and the Tao, I mean, they all say the same thing, except there might be one or two little things that are different. And those are the one or two little things that are the truth. And the truth is, you're a divine being and you have ultimate choice, free will to do whatever you want. And that means there is no sin attached to it. There is no sin. There is no reason for guilt or shame. However, the way you treat someone, it should be ethical. And not having compassion will not get you into heaven. That's the only thing I can say. The only thing that stipulates what your choices are is what that choice creates as your vibration. If you are an evil, rotten, snake-bit person, you're not going to rise up. You're going to be stuck here. And this is actually hell, to tell you the truth. And it's got 5 levels. Ugh, it sucks. But anyway, if you are carrying the burden of any of the 7 deadly sins, you will not get in heaven. You are weighted as you go up in vibration, because there are certain amounts of goodness, because goodness and joy and love give you the higher vibrations. That's how you ascend to a higher vibration. So if you want to stay here and play in hell, that by all means go to it. But you need to understand what you're dealing with and what it's about. And you can always go home. You can change your vibration at any time and then go. Just call for God. God is to send you some help. You want to go home. Aliens are real. There are many different aliens out there, many different species. And it's a beautiful universe. And we're beautiful. And I want you all to know that. And let go of your fear and your condemnation and this and that. And we were abused, yes. And it was all so they could keep us here. And but I'm here to tell you now that you could do one of two things. You can stay and go ahead and maybe look at something like the Constitution of the United States of America as your hope for what you would like in your world, your country, um, or raise your vibration and go with us to the new world, 5D, because after that it's home, baby. And there's a multitude of other worlds to visit and play on higher dimensions. So I guess that's what I wanted to say for tonight. Let go of the deep beliefs that keep you trapped here. They call it the matrix. It's a mental thing. And one of the best things to do is to limit your time on any kind of electronics and Wi-Fi, period. So if you could limit yourself, and start cutting yourself back a couple hours a day off of it and off your phones, and, disconnect the Wi-Fi and get outside more and maybe spend more time in presence with other beings, real ones. And that would be a good thing, because it'll help break you away. And then you can see clearer. And then you would meditate. Just deep breathe 15 minutes a day, twice a day if you can. Letting God know, I am ready to listen. And you'll start hearing. And it's not a voice that comes through your ear. It's a voice in your head. And most of the time it'll be images or a feeling. You might see signage, or you might, run into somebody or overhear somebody talking about something. Oh my God, that's exactly what I was asking about. God will always find a way to get you the answer. It just might be in a unique way. So as long as you aren't picky about how you get the answer, and you're an active participant, and, just staying aware of your environment, wherever you're at, he'll get the message to you. She will. And another thing, the goddess, the mother goddess, is here now. She's making a visit. And what she wants to say is that, and I mean, she reeks of unconditional love. I mean, there is nothing else about her except unconditional love. She wants to say, don't forget the importance of the feminine. The feminine is just as important as the masculine. And mutual respect and equality are a necessity for a well-balanced universe. That's all she's got to say for today. And I'm going to read a little bit of this Constitution, and we'll go from there. Next time I'll have something different. The unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America. I'm going to change things so that it sounds like we're wording it for the world. When in the course of human events, it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and nature's God entitle them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence, indeed, will dictate the governments, long established, should not be changed for light and transient causes. And accordingly, all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations and pursuing invariable the same object evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present rulers is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations. I'm sorry, I have trouble with that one. All having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these countries. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. And then I want you to hear this part, because then the next part was to go into the list of tyranny practices and despotism, which is just simply they're taking land that isn't theirs. They're taking this that isn't theirs, or they're paying minuscule to get it. And they're doing it here in our country now too. They're running ranchers and farmers off their lands, and all in the guise of putting up. Anyway, that's our problem here in the United States. You guys have your own. I'll shut up from there. Okay. We therefore, the representatives of, and that would be your country or whatever it is, in General Congress assembled, appealing to the Supreme Judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, due in the name and by authority of the good people of these, solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies, I'm going to put it in there for a minute, and of right ought to be free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is and ought to be totally dissolved, and that as free and independent states they have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and to do all other acts and things which independent states may have right to do. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, which means God's caring of humanity, we mutually pledge to each of our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. And that's all I'm going to give you tonight. But if you listen to those words and make no mistake, they made no slippage when they use their words. They use specific words, and they use them for a reason. And it is time to have a beautiful world. And to me, 1,000 years of golden years is the happiness and joy of family and friends having fun and running, under the sun, and those who still want to have businesses can get out there and still do the business thing. And it's about freedom, not pampering. It's about our freedom from the powers that be. It's about us being able to perform our country the way we would like it to really be. And I'm sure everybody in the world feels the same way about their country. So let us find unity as a species, humans, in this big, vast universe. Let us find unity in that. No more division. And the powers that be, like Christ said, don't worry about them. We can do this. So learn your magic, because you are the power. Each one of us is the power. Meditate, get to know your inner self. The kingdom of heaven is in here. It is in here, not out there. It's in here. So find compassion and empathy. And if you think you can let the powers that be do what they want to do, that's cool. Maybe it's not going to be a bad thing. I like the fact that they're going to take religion out of all the verbiage and just put ethics, because ethics seems to be something that can be equally given to everyone. You can have your religion at home, but it shouldn't be in government. It should be church and state separate, because we all worship to different gods, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with not worshiping to any god. I prefer to think of Source as my one to pray to, and because I know I'm an integral part of Source, just like every one of us is. And maybe we should let the powers be. It's going to happen the way God wants it. I'm not going to worry about what I say, because God's got the final thing on this one. But what I can tell you is take the time to ignore what's going on, because it's all just a bunch of bullshit. And care about your neighbors, care about your family, care about your friends. Find time to line yourself up with God. God is all that is. Go inward. And all you have to do is deep breathe. Deep breathe and sit in stillness. Try to, occupy your 5 senses. It makes it easier. And find the power is in you. And the power gives us the power to live amongst and within any tyranny freely and happily, because we can create our own world and our own needs be met through God and through the force. So let the force be with you, and I love you, and I'll talk to you later. Lori out. Bye.